Are you cheap Chinese carbon handlebar curious? Join me in exploring this interesting scene. Strong, light, cheap. Pick two, said Keith Bondrager. What does this cheap Chinese carbon handlebar deliver? Carbon aero handlebars look cool, are supposed to be more comfortable than alloy bars, and are expensive, usually retailing around £200 to £300. That's about the cost of my bike, the legendary B-Twin Triband 3 Red, the one with the carbon forks, which sold for around £300. After many bone-jarring rides on my ordinary aluminium bars, I was ready to try out a cheap Chinese carbon handlebar. Inspired by YouTuber Trace Velo, who built his bike only using cheap Chinese carbon, I cautiously went onto AliExpress and searched for a cheap Chinese aero carbon handlebar. How then to choose a carbon handlebar when your search results throw up hundreds of similar items? I based my choice on the number of orders, positive feedback and complaints. With these criteria, I chose this carbon handlebar and it only cost £30. This is the OG-Evkin HB002 Pro Plus Aero handlebar, which is quite a mouthful. According to their specifications, it's made of Toray T1000 carbon, which is nice. The handlebar, especially from the front, looks like an alien artifact. I've got to admit, it looks cool. And I especially like its muted logos. Some handlebars are festooned with badly placed, huge, garish logos, which I don't like. If you do, there are plenty of options. After placing the order, it arrived in the UK within 8 days of ordering. This is an impressive feat of logistics and a superb demonstration of the benefits of globalization and its integrated logistics system. From Shandong in China to the UK via Hong Kong in only 8 days, despite the current situation thing, that's pretty amazing. Let's now examine how it was packaged, unwrap it, test it, unscientifically of course, to see how it stands up to rough handling. Then I'll install it and ride test it for comfort, flexibility and toughness, and finally determine if it's worth it, and if whether strong, light and cheap can be proven. See, it's wrapped up pretty well. There's no packing inside the box other than the handlebar itself. It feels incredibly light. It's nicely packed up. Let's hope it has survived the journey. That's one piece done. That's the second part. And ladies and gentlemen, this is it. This is the bar. Disappointed to see any lack of any markings to indicate where to hold it. Also on here, it's a shame. They could have put some grid marks, but it feels incredibly light. Very nice muted logo. It's not too garish. Let's turn on this luggage weighing device. Okay, it weighs 260 grams. Now let's weigh the old alloy handlebar, which I've got here. 320 grams. There you go. So a slight weight saving. You will note when I take the cable guides out, the holes are actually pretty well machined. They're smooth. There's no obvious hole, scratches or burrs. It's nice and it's not sharp. Right, so now we're going to test the strength of this carbon handlebar. An entirely unscientific test. See if I can bend it. Obviously I can't bend it, even by standing on that. It has a little bit, a tiniest bit of flex, but let's see what this does. As you can see, it's very, very tough. Now when cycling, obviously I'm going to keep my hands on the tops and most often on the strops. It's pretty tough, it's extremely light and extremely hard. Nope, nothing happening here. When I push laterally like this, there's a tiny bit of flex, but then how often do you push from side to side when you're cycling? Hardly ever, I would contend. So further inspection, and you can see better in the daylight how the surface catches the reflections. And right, so I've now installed one of the brake cables, the right hand brake cable, into the shifter, and it goes through. It's internally routed, as you will see, comes out here and it's just hanging loose. That's the dental pick. It's really, really, really useful for picking things up and for guiding cables and fishing the cable out of the hole. Then we have the second one through there, and then it comes out underneath and now needs to be fixed into the rear brake with the cables. And so I'm going to quickly put a couple of screws in just to get it in position, just roughly in position. Thank you for watching so far. If you have, award yourself a delicious bottle of Singer, which I think I deserve after all the trials and tribulations. So cheers. Okay, so I fixed it temporarily. I'm now gonna get the positioning correct, including the hoods, which need to be moved around a bit. I'm going to use paste on that as well. As you can see, they're quite loose, so I can check the positions of the hoods and get the final angle and the attitude, if you like, of the bar spot on. And as you will see again, because this is an older Shimano shifting system, I can't get the gear cable to run internally. It is external. There's nothing I can do about it, and I'm not going to spend hundreds and thousands buying a new group set just to be able to fit it internally. After all, I've got the aero bar, so that should save any resistance. So now I'm going to apply some of this carbon fiber gripper paste onto the faces of the stem and also this area, just to help improve adhesion. I'm not sure how much to apply, so I'm going to try and be sparing with this application. I presume it will be sufficient. It feels quite gritty actually. Okay, it's done now. So you can see now the final results. It's fixed in. I've tightened up the paste. I've put the hoods in the right place, and tomorrow it'll be ready for a little ride and trial. And if I can move it around like this, you can see the actual angle and how it looks like that. I think it looks pretty cool. It just feels really nice. I really like these gel pads. I'm going to put the one that's been cut specifically for the drops on it. I'm going to also put a bit of gel pad here, cut to size, and this is that other piece of gel which I'm going to place out here. I'm going to cut it about there, I think, so it sort of nicely tucks it on there, gives it a nice ridge. You can see probably the sponginess of it. Peel this back, you can see how the gel is under here, so that when I'm riding on like this, it feels nice and comfy. As I said before, I cannot recommend these highly enough. They really help with road buzz. The keener-eyed amongst you will see that this is not perfect. This is just a temporary handlebar tape. Now you can see the difference between the side without bar tape and the side with the bar tape. Although it's lost some of the sheen. So I tested the carbon handlebar on many road surfaces. Country fields, horrible and marginally less horrible tarmac. Riding on 25C Michelin Lithium 3 tyres. I rode without a bar tape or gel pads to really experience the road buzz directly into my hands and fingers. Compared to my original alloy handlebars, this carbon handlebar provides significantly better road ride comfort. I could feel it, but I can't measure it. And it definitely isn't a placebo effect, because really I wasn't expecting any significant improvements in ride quality. After all, I only spent £30 on it and not 300. Let's make some conclusions. First of all, comfort. The OG-Evkin Carbon Aero Handlebar provides massively improved ride comfort. Of that I have no doubt. And I deliberately rode over potholes to test its comfort and strength. Next, certifications. Now they display SIS certifications on their website, but those are related to bicycle frames. It's not clear if these handlebars have passed SIS, EU, or other global safety certifications. Safety. This is the big unanswered question, the elephant in the room, if you like. Obviously, a product sold by a retailer with a legal presence in your country provides more consumer protection than a product purchased from a company based in China. If anything goes wrong, how will you claim for damages against a company based in China? Unknown. Warranty. You get a standard 30 days warranty with AliExpress purchases, which is frankly pretty pathetic compared to most consumer warranties in Western countries, which can range from anywhere from 2 to 6 years. But that's just part of the price you pay for buying from AliExpress. Returns. OG-Evkin has a 15-day returns policy, which is pretty miserly compared to, let's say, UK consumer laws. But again, you know this. So to conclude, I was reminded of Keith Bontrager's famous quote, "Strong, light, cheap, pick two," and the much older saying, "Caveat emptor." Well, this emptor was aware of the risks, as should you be. I guess only long-term use will show if this carbon handlebar is strong and cheap or light and cheap. For the moment, it's performing superbly. And a final postscript. While researching this entire topic, I found an excellent carbon handlebar test and review done by Bike Magazine in December 2006. It's linked in the description and I hope you find it useful.